Welcome to day 45 of our school year. All right. We have a total of 180 school days. We're on day 45. We want to figure out is 45 is prime or composite. Well, it's not even, but it does end in a 5. So when it ends in a 5, it means that 5 is a factor. So we have 1, the number itself, and 5. That's more than 2 factors, so it is composite. And if you're not sure, you can always look. And here, none of the ones that end in 5 except 5 are circled. So 45 is composite. That means we need to do the prime factorization for both our denominator and our numerator. Let's see. It ends in a 0, so I can divide by 5. There's 3 groups of 5 and 18. I'm left with 30, so 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. That's a multiple of 3, so I can get 1 group of 3 out of 3 and 2 groups of 3 out of 6. That's even, so I can divide by 2. That's even, so I could divide by 2. I end up with 3. When I get to a prime number, I am done. 45 ends in a 5, so I can divide by 5. 5 times 9. 9 can divide by 3. I get 3. 3 is prime, and we're done. So let's list our prime factorization for our denominator. 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. And then here, 3 times 3 times 5. Well, do you see anything in common? There we go, 3 times 3 times 5. That means 45. 3 times 3 is 9 times 5 is 45 is our greatest common factor. We're left with no factors in the numerator, so 1 is actually left there. And 2 times 2, 4, so 1/4. Let's go ahead and make our groups of 45. Your groups do not have to look like mine. Just make sure there's 45 in each, and you keep the shaded separated from the unshaded. So here, 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45. 10, 20, 30, 40, 5. 5, 10, 20, 30, 45. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups in total, and we have 1 shaded in. All right, we've done it with our model. Let's go ahead and do it with our algorithm. I'm going to prove our answer in more than one way. So we're dividing by 45. Well, I don't know my 45, so I do know 1 times 45. So I can use that. Okay, more on the floor, go next door, regroup 10 more. 10 take away 5 is 5, 7 take away 4 is 3, and then 1. I'm going to move 135 up there. Again, I know 1 group of 45. Numbers the same, 0 is the game. 13 take away 4 is 9. Okay. I'm going to do another group of 45. This division is repeated subtraction. So you want to take out the largest groups you can, but if you don't know them, it may just be 1 group at a time. More on the floor, go next door, regroup 10 more. 10 take away 5 is 5, 8 take away 4 is 4. a group of 45. Numbers the same. 0's a game. Finally, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. Okay, and then here, 1 times 45 is 45. Numbers the same. 0's a game. So our number there is 1. Let's go ahead and check with our inverse operation. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. So we have 45 times 4. Since our remainder for both is 0, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, we don't actually need to add 0. 4 groups of 5 is 20. We regroup the 2, bring down the 0. 4 groups of 40 is 16 tens. 4 groups of 4 tens is 16 tens, plus 2 more tens is 18 tens, or 180. Here we have the identity property of multiplication that says when you multiply by 1 it stays the same, because one group of 5 is 5, one group of 40 is 40. But 45 checks. 180 matches our dividend up here, so that checks. That means our numerator is definitely 1, and our denominator is definitely 4. Now that 1/4 is special, because it can become 100. And that means we can get our per cent. Cent means 100. Through or through 100. Remember, 4 quarters makes $1. That's why they are called quarters, because 1/4 is a quarter. So 1 times 25 is 25. 4 times 25 is 100. So here, 25 hundredths we can write as 25 hundredths. And it's 25 per 100, or 25%. So we have completed 25% of the school year, or 1/4 of the school year is done. We have 3/4, or 75% of the year left. Let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. We are still in trimester 1, week 10. Today is 10/10/19. And our fraction for today, let's write it kind of small, is 1/4, also called 1/4, because 1 out of 4 pieces is called a quarter. That is why the coin quarter is called that, because it takes 4 quarters to make $1. Okay, so it's same as 25 hundredths. In money, that would be 25 cents, which is what a quarter is worth, which is equivalent to 25%. So we've finished 25% of the school year. We have 75% left, also called 1/4 of the school year. We have 3/4 of the school year left. Okay, let's go ahead and get out our number line. We did groups of 45. So find your 45 way down here, all the way over. So we have 4 sections of this. So we've completed 1 out of 4 sections of this school year. And we have an equivalent fraction in the 15s. 15 is a common factor. In the 9 is a common factor. In the 5 is a common factor. 3 is a common factor. And then 45 180ths. So 1/4, that is our equivalent fraction in lowest terms, or simplest form. All right, go ahead and put your number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.